Good evening, happy Christmas, and welcome to In Demand. I'm Trudy Kerr.
And I'm Jane Dennis, and tonight we are talking about women in the public eye. With a desire for celebrity on the increase, we talk to two Maltese women to find out whether it's as much fun as we think it is.
Absolutely. This evening we'll be joined by the fabulous TV journalist, producer and presenter Mandy Greenwald and the gorgeous interpreter, TV presenter and producer Valerie Vella.
First up, we speak with Valerie. Valerie, welcome. Thank you for joining us on In Demand.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And a hugely happy Christmas.
Yes.
Happy
Very,
Christmas.
and look, how Christmas. Actually, you both look very Christmassy.
Yeah, I came dressed up for the occasion.
I just look like I've walked in out of the snow, which we obviously know
You
it's
look
not
seasonal.
snowing outside. Valerie, there's a question I want to ask about being in the public eye, something you know about. Now, I was alluding to the fact that celebrity is on the increase. I think a lot of children today, young people, aspire to be famous. You've done lots of things that have put you into the public eye. Is it something that you worked backwards from, well, I'd like people to know who I am and be in the public eye, or was it a consequence of the stuff that you actually did?
No, it was never my intention.
Really?
Honestly, no. I mean, I used to sit home, watching TV, watching the beautiful women, announcing programs, doing programs. And I always said, they look lovely. Oh, what a nice job, And then it just happened to me. And all of a sudden...
No, it didn't. It didn't just happen to you,
It did. I was barely 18 when the interviews were published, and I just said,
Wait,
okay.
back up.
Yeah.
That part of the story we're not aware
we don't
of,
know.
and other people might know.
I
So what
see.
happened?
Okay.
What happened?
So there were applications for TV announcers, and I got to know from a neighbour, and she said, "Did you wonder, whether you should apply for these interviews?" And I was like, "No." And I went home and I asked my parents, and they said, but they would, have people in mind, and it's not something,
not good enough, darling.
You're so simple in a way, naive and simple.
Yes,
they meant, in my looks and everything. So
Are your
I
parents
said,
watching this evening?
I hope they are.
Yeah,
Well, I
eating your
don't know.
words.
You were wrong.
And so I just went, and applied. There were about 175 other women who applied, and they all came dressed up, very elaborately, and I was just a plain, simple schoolgirl.
Wow.
And I
That is a
actually
good
got the
look.
job.
And you got the job, and that's not something that's so easy, because these days people train and spend a lot of time. There's lots. My daughter does a lot of vlogging, and people are coached to do TV.
Does a lot of what?
Vlogging, video blogging,
Oh,
so
I've never heard of that.
YouTube channels and things.
It's a new word.
and children, it's very part of their everyday now. I think children today can perform and present much better than certainly when I was younger.
Yes, indeed. And we were never trained.
No.
So it was just learning by doing.
So how you went in and you nailed it, it sounds like.
Kind of, yes. It's been a long, long journey. 18 years, no, more. Oh, but that's,
Only
going to
5
give out
years.
my age.
Only just 5 years. We know you're lying there.
It's about 21 years now. So it's half my life, in the public eye.
But going back to Jane's question, you must have been aware of the fact that you had been in the public eye when you were applying for that job.
No, I just applied for it because for me it was a job. It was an experience of a job interview. I had never had one before. So when and I didn't really think it was going to happen. So when it really happened, it came all of a sudden, and all of a sudden I was out on the street and everybody was telling me, I've seen you,
Yes.
I've seen you in that dress, I love your earrings, I did this and I did that.
Wow,
So this started when
you
I
were
was
young.
18. Yeah,
Yes.
I was 18. So for me, it is part of my life. I cannot imagine myself without it. In fact, when I decided to go and live in Switzerland for a while, it was so weird. waking up in the morning.
Nobody knew who I was.
No, it was like waking up in the morning, walking in the streets, and nobody's saying hello or good evening or whatever. Whereas here, everybody would nod or smile or do some sort of reaction. So I was thinking, what's wrong with me? I mean, where am I? I mean, did I change? Am I acting strange? It just, you know, I just
So you
couldn't
thought that
take it.
people naturally behave like that to each other, not to you, because
To me,
everybody...
it is a bit
yes,
like that,
yes.
I guess.
Because nobody does. The rest of us just go around about our business, and people are actually quite rude to us a lot of the time.
Well, I get all
Speak for
sorts.
yourself. That's not my story. That kind of ties into the next question that we were talking about before we came on, which is really, Jane and I, obviously, we're not Maltese and visitors on the island, but we've grown up in a very different culture that is very tabloid-driven.
Yeah.
A very tabloid culture. You sneeze and it's on the front page.
Indeed.
If you're famous. Not everybody, honestly.
That's true, not
People
everybody.
are interested in your sneezing, obviously, yes.
But here in Malta, and it's very refreshing, that doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, the tabloid in paper doesn't exist. I think it's a live tabloid.
So tell me about this, because you said this before we came on air, and because my question was going to be, you know, but everybody does know your business because it's such a small country, and I have. Like you say, you have people saying to you, I like your earrings. I've had people saying to me, oh, I'm not quite sure what you wear on that night. And I hope everyone doesn't say that this evening. But you talking about this live tabloid, what does that mean? What does that look like?
I think everybody's like following what you're doing, or if they see you somewhere, she's the girl on TV, she's with that person, she's doing this, she's doing that. So I think, and they go and talk to each other.
Yes,
so for
yes.
me, it's a live tabloid in
Yes.
reality. Although I've always lived my life as if I'm not in the public eye. If you know what I mean.
No, that's really good to know. That's really
You mean
good
you
to
go
know.
to the shops wearing your
Yes.
pyjamas, like normal people?
No, but I wouldn't
That's
do
just
it
you,
even
love.
if I if I wasn't a public
Steady, you
figure.
don't need to tell everyone.
That's
your
my Saturday
personal-
night out. I
Yeah.
go to the shops in my pyjamas, thank you very much indeed.
It's not like that. It's like I always wanted my freedom. In the sense, life is short, and I would like to live it the way I would like
But can
to
you
live it.
can you have that?
I do.
Is that possible?
I mean, I do.
You make it happen.
Always respecting, you know, other people, basic respect to other people, but as much as I can, I try not to let it influence my life.
Are you the person, this is hard really, because I don't know if you know the person that people think you are. So people have a view about who Valerie Vella is and what she does and what she's like and she's lovely. You know, I know my mother, when she watches television, she'll have an opinion about somebody she watches on television, whether it's true or not. Do you think you're the person that people think you are?
Yes, indeed. I'm quite myself when I'm in front of the camera, and I think that helps me move on with life more easily, in the sense that I don't let it affect me too much in my choices, where I want to go, with whom I want to be, how I want to dress, whatever. However, it's always a bit of a problem when meeting new people, because when I meet someone new, as you said, they always have maybe a perception about me already. So it happens to me when I go, for example, to job interviews, or when I'm meeting groups or something of the sort. A few months ago, I was doing voluntary work in Peru, and I joined a group.
Hang on a second. Okay,
Just
nice.
throw that in.
Yeah.
So the people there, I mean, when they saw me, they all had an impression about me. Some think I'm nice, others might think I'm a bit too stuck up, others might think I'm, you know, everybody had an opinion about me.
So then do you make it do you purposely try to diffuse that? Or try to dispel that preconception?
No, it's
you just act
it's
like
just
it.
that
Carry
I'm
on
aware.
being
yeah,
you.
I just carry on being me, but I'm aware that when I meet you, you must already have some sort of opinion about me, and sometimes that is daunting. Sometimes it makes our communication easier. So
I mean, you referenced Jane and I just for a second. I don't know about you, but even having been here 10 years, because we are not Maltese, and we've had, on this show, had a wonderful experience and a privilege to meet so many people, but we may not have necessarily met them or come across them before. So we actually kind of...
It's really nice to talk to people, and I think what we said is great. And I'm interrupting you because I'm
Did you see
worked
my
with you
face?
so long. I know what you're going to say. Because we've said
Be
it
my
before,
guest.
it's so nice to be able to ask questions that we think other people wouldn't ask. So there might be people sitting at home, we think, who say, well, we think that about Valerie, but we wouldn't say that because we're outsiders and we can ask those questions. So it's really interesting to meet people without a perspective or a view about who they are beforehand.
And indeed, nobody ever, you know, kind of asked me such questions. So
Because
for me, even
that's
coming
because
here...
they know you, yes.
Because they think they know who you are.
And coming here, I was thinking, you know, what does it mean to be in the public eye? Because I don't do it consciously. It's so much part of my life, as I explained. I was thrown at it at a very young age. So for me, it's normality
So
in
would you be able
reality.
to identify for you what is the worst and the best thing about what you do and being in the public eye? You know that you are. You probably haven't known any different. But if you had to say, that's the best thing, getting my hair done on a Saturday to come on a TV show, that's the best thing about being in the public eye. That's the best thing for me. But for you, what?
I mean, I feel blessed in this journey. I love it because I love, you know, keeping up appearances, like, you know, dressing up nicely, doing my hair. So it helps me do that. I mean, I wear beautiful dresses from time to time and things I love doing. On the other hand, I feel a bit it's burden in being a role model to a lot of people. You know, of all
there must
different
be times
ages.
where, I mean, it would be me on the road is when I think about, you know, those moments where somebody's cut you up on a road or somebody's particularly awful to you and that side of you
No,
comes
you
out
have
perhaps.
to kind of...
I think I'd like to think I'm not the only person in the world that doesn't get that side of me coming out.
Do you remember, we asked Ira, I'm going to talk with you now, we asked Ira the same question last season, because we had a show on role models, and said, what do you do? And she said, well, you know, I'm not the best driver in the world, I do say a few words.
Yes.
And of course, you're also
Yes, and it
you're
happens
also
to
human.
me as well. But then I think
Do
it's
you have
time...
to check yourself or do you...
Yeah, I hold back, you know, but I wouldn't do it either.
No.
If I wasn't
You're
a
just a
public
nice person.
It's just no, I lose it. But I behave a little bit more, you know,
I was about
by
to
not
say,
saying rude words or
We could
something.
probably
like
all
that.
do with checking. I'm just going to pretend that I'm a role model and in the public eye. So I just check myself.
I think I
bit
have
more.
a lot to thank my parents for that.
I was about to say, ladies
You know.
and gentlemen, if you're watching the show and you happen to come across Valerie when you're driving, she's obviously going to let you out. Best driver in the world. We are having a wonderful time. We're going to take a break just for a few minutes. Go get yourself a coffee and come back here just in a few seconds.
Welcome back to In Demand, where we're talking to two fabulous women who are in the public eye. And we've been joined by the wonderful Mandy McAuliffe-Greenall. And I can tell you now that I will be laughing all the way through this because she's just one of these people that makes me giggle. How are you?
Not bad.
How are you really? You've got a bit of toothache.
And I have to say, thank you so much for coming, because I know, because you called me this morning and said, I'm not feeling so well, and I'm like, no, this is a Christmas show, please come. And you did, and thank you ever so much.
Get honey and lemon.
And I
she
got you
has.
honey and lemon in a Christmas mug, can I say? I went to the extra effort, brought the Christmas mug for you.
Yeah,
Oh, well, good for you. Thank you for joining us. So, one of the questions, you've got a very distinct look, gorgeous as you are, and everyone knows who you are. Do you ever crave anonymity? Do you ever want people just to not know who you are?
I mean, I'm just myself, so I mean, it doesn't make much difference to me. It's true. I mean, even if I go to the shops, I just go, I mean, with my tracks, with my jogging suit on and no makeup
You
or
see
anything.
one more like you.
Yeah.
I just don't care. It's true. I mean...
But would you like people not to know who you are? Would you like to just be able to go and...
Oh, I like people, I mean, speaking to me, and they appreciate, like, I mean, if they see me on telly, for example, acting, I like it when they appreciate and they speak to me, because I like speaking to people anyway. So I would just speak to anybody in the street if I'm on holiday, for example. I just pick anyone up and speak to them.
You do it anyway?
Yes, I don't mind.
See, I'm a complete opposite. I think I probably wouldn't want to talk to anyone. I
Really?
couldn't think of anything worse than
You
people
have
coming up
mentioned
and
this.
talking to me all
No,
the time.
I really think for them to make the effort to come and speak to me, you know, sort of, I really appreciate it. It's really lovely of them.
Just before we get going on people knowing you, you are known for being, you are an actress.
Oh, we actress. Yeah, all right.
But also, so you tell me, you're a presenter,
yes,
an actress, a presenter, and you also work as on a production side as well.
Yes.
So you cover everything.
And my husband is...
Well, we'll come to that in a second, obviously.
Mostly. I'm the wife of... That's mostly.
That's exactly what I'm going to ask you in a second. But having seen that, when Jane asking that question, what are you most well known for?
For being Pepe's wife.
Do you think so?
Yes, I think so.
Even though you've done all the things in your own right,
I
you
think
still
so,
think that
I have.
that's...
That's
So
what
has
mostly.
being his wife opened doors for you, or has it been an inhibitor to your career?
So because if people hate my husband, because lots of people love him and lots of people hate him. So
he does. He's a very
sometimes they use me.
lively man
But
who
the
has
good
that
news
sort
is,
of.
if they do hate it, if they do love him, they'll be watching the other side. So you can say whatever you like at the moment because he's now on the other side, so we can talk about him quite openly.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, some people they judge you way before they even know you.
I think that's what we're going to
It's a sad
ask. I mean,
bit
because
of
we're
it.
going to talk about you as a woman in your own right. But you brought this up. In fact, you jumped questions for us. Thanks ever so
sorry.
much indeed. We're to the end of the questions. So it's had an adverse and a positive effect.
Yes, of course.
But when you were, and this is completely off card, but when you were first married, I'm presuming that neither of you were that well known.
No.
So you
when
went
I
through
met
that journey
Pepe,
together.
Yes. He wasn't
Okay.
on television. Well, he had written Ana Haneo Mahnish. He had written this satirical program, but I mean, he was never on the telly.
And did you have your career plans and aspirations?
No, I was
then?
an animator at Corinthia.
Okay.
We used to do dancing and shows for tourists, you know.
So you were always in that kind of
Yes.
sphere anyway, performing. And you feel that that's grown. Have you got more opportunities because you've been in the public eye?
I think so, of course, because one thing leads to another and then.
Yes.
But I remember once when I was very young, about 18, I went to this fortune teller and she started telling me, you're going to be on TV. I said, this woman's crap. She don't know what she's talking about. But my God, it was true.
So
I
do
couldn't
you still
believe
know
it.
her? You're going to go back and say, OK, I'm sorry about that. I do apologise because you were right.
I didn't tell her that she was crap, but after, when I was speaking to my friends, and she don't know what she's talking about.
Now, I don't know you that well. We've only met a few times, but you strike me as somebody who likes to have fun.
Yes.
Yes. So, being in the public eye, does it inhibit some of the things that you might naturally want to do because of your vivacious personality? Does it?
Because the thing is, I like going out and like having a drink and dancing and all that.
Great.
So-
OK, we'll have to organise something.
We're all going out now.
But then
show.
when I go out, you start hearing people and
Yes,
dancing
this
and
is-
having fun,
yes.
you know? You start hearing people whispering, and then you
Yes.
start looking at you. First one person looks at you, talks to the other one, then they look at you. Sort of, she's Pepe's wife.
Yes, yeah.
Look at her, she's out here dancing and all that.
serious?
Of course, yes.
So
Wow.
we were actually talking to Valerie, who said that Malta's like a small tabloid newspaper.
course.
It's like a live tabloid newspaper.
Yeah, that was
all
the term
time.
that you used,
True.
which was
But
brilliant.
you don't. It's not written down so much, but actually it's seen and people know and people tell people. So you're conscious that people are making
Yes,
a judgment
of course.
and watching you the whole
Of course,
time.
because I mean, Pepe doesn't like going out, so I go out with
I have
my
to go on
friends.
my own.
Yeah, exactly, to have some fun. So I mean, when they see me out alone, or they tell me, does Pepe know that you're out?
Do they?
Well, where's Pepe? They say it, you know. I mean, they don't just sort of not say anything, you know, like, you know.
Do you ever feel then,
They do
and
say.
it's kind of, because you are a woman in your own right, you're a successful woman in your own right, but do you ever, you've mentioned Pepe a dozen times and we've only been on air for a minute, do you ever feel like you're in his shadow? Do you ever
No,
feel?
not really. I mean, I'm happy where I am, so
What a wonderful answer.
not really.
Right,
It's
yes.
true.
That's a great answer. Good for you.
So when you're out, I'm going back to this
Yeah,
again. So when you're
having
out,
fun.
We're all
having
going clubbing
fun.
together after.
Do are there things that you guys, again, you know, we were talking to Valerie about how you adapt your behaviour in certain situations when people are watching you perhaps more intently than if you weren't somebody that was well known. Do you turn it up a little bit, your behaviour? You know, do you turn the volume up on this outrageous behaviour, or are you more inclined to...
Or turn it down.
Turn it down.
No, in the beginning, at first, when I get to this, when I go out, at first it makes me a bit sad, you know, like that I can't But and then after a few drinks, no, I don't care. As long as I'm having fun.
Yes, that's
I
good.
don't
Good.
care.
Girlfriend. And you
They say
genuinely,
what they say.
You genuinely. Now that's really interesting because what you're saying is I am genuinely me, and I'm not. And it's exactly what Valerie
In the
said.
beginning, at first, when I get there, I start seeing them whispering and all that. I start feeling a bit, you know, and then I say, no, hey,
Yes.
come on, let's have fun.
a bit self-conscious.
Oh, of course. But I mean, I don't go out much. So the few times I'm going to go out, I'm going to have fun. I don't
Yes.
care.
And I'm going to just be a bit nosy, but and you don't have to answer. But does Pepe not go out because he's so known? So would he?
No, he doesn't
just
like it.
It's just
No, he never
you're the
went
life and
out.
soul of the
yes,
party.
Yes, no, he doesn't like
Which
it.
we
He
know.
doesn't like it. He hates
So
it.
when you travel again,
Oh, that's fun then. Oh, what fun.
so would you then travel to put yourself in a sphere where you're not known and you can relax
Oh,
and you
of
can be
course.
yourself?
Yes,
do
yes.
you do that purposely? Leave the island?
No, I go out with my friends, I mean, and we go clubbing, or I go and see, if I go to a concert or
Yes.
something, or I go
Does
to
it
museums.
feel different to be in a situation like that where people don't know who you are?
It does, you're much freer, eh?
You feel freer.
But anyway, I wouldn't care anyway, so...
Yes.
And listen, Maltese are everywhere. I mean, if you're in London, if you're in Japan, if you're in China, they're all over the place.
I have to say, I can vouch for that. I was a couple of years ago in Liverpool Street Station with a Maltese, and they came out of the toilet talking to a Maltese. They were a TV presenter, came out of the toilet talking to a Maltese. I was like, no, this is my city.
No.
You can't do that. This is where I live.
You'll find them
But
everywhere.
you're right, they are
You
everywhere.
hear either someone swearing or something.
Now tell me, because we asked Valerie this as well, what for you is the best and worst thing about being in the public eye? What's the thing that you say, I love that, that's a real and the thing that you just don't?
The best thing is that, I mean, people give you feedback. I mean, it's not always good, obviously. I mean, if it's... criticism is good, as long as it's not... You have to see where it's coming from, because, I mean, some people, they're either jealous of you or they hate you for some reason. So, I mean, but when the feedback is positive, it's lovely, eh? And people know you and people love you, you know, sort of, and you haven't even earned it
I see.
in a way, because they love you from on the television, you
Yes.
know. But and then the awful bit is when people hate you, and for no reason.
For no reason.
You wouldn't know why, you know.
Yes. And
can you
are
do?
you the person that we asked Valerie this question as well, it's, are you the person that they think you are?
I think so, yeah, because I mean I'm bubbly and all that, and most people always think I mean like I'm
So when they don't
fun
like
and
you,
all
it's
that.
because they really don't like you. It's not
It could
because
be,
they
I don't know. You can't please them all anyway,
Exactly
eh?
right, exactly
You
right.
can't please them all.
But also, I think also maybe with, and again with your association with Pepe as well, but you even yourself are not, how can I put it? You're not a mild and meek lady. So you're going to provoke...
Loud.
Mandy's here. You're going to provoke a reaction. And what you're saying, if I'm getting this right, what you're saying is that that is both the best and the worst thing
Yes, it's
about
true.
being
It's true.
well known.
Of course, so I mean...
Does it impact your family as well, being known?
It did Chandra when he was young, when he was at school, like some children, they used to bully him, you know, because of his
Oh, okay.
father. Yes, or else, like, for example, if I had a kissing scene or something on the telly,
I see.
they'd start...
Wow, of course.
And how does he find it having two parents in the public eye?
Well, he doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't tell anyone, but I mean, if somebody doesn't know, no, is it?
That's interesting.
No.
Why do you think that is? Has he ever told you?
Hope he's not ashamed of us. I don't know.
I'm sure. Goodness, I'm sure he's not.
And
But that's how we are.
has he now gone into how old is he?
He's 17.
So is he going to follow mum and dad?
No, but he likes cameras and things like
There you
that.
go.
Really, yeah.
There you go. I would say I don't know about you, having an absolute brilliant
love it.
time with you ladies this evening. And what a
my
great
God.
show just before Christmas. We're going to take a quick break, but whatever you do, ladies and gentlemen, come back to this super show right here, right in this here in 3 or 4 minutes.
Welcome Welcome back to In Demand, where we're talking to two fantastic women here at Christmas about being in the public eye. We have Valerie Vella and the wonderful Mandy McAuliffe-Grimaud, which is Grimaud.
I like your French accent.
Ah, bien sûr.
Is it French?
Yes, Grimaud, yes.
Grimaud.
Grimaud.
Very
So,
nice.
ladies, talking about being a woman in the public eye, do you think there are things that are specific to being a woman in the public eye that is different to a man in the public eye? And I'm thinking sometimes about appearance. Maybe we have to be a bit more careful about. I'm ignoring her. I'm just ignoring her. Valerie, for you, is there something? See, it's like antithesis, isn't it? We've got the woman that doesn't care about being, and the woman who looks after herself. So, is there something specific about being a woman in the public eye that you think is different to being a man in the public eye?
Well, I think we have a tougher job. I mean,
I
you know,
think men are as bad as women nowadays, I'm telling you.
yeah,
They're
most.
shaving their chests. I can't understand
but still
this
they
stuff.
have to button up their shirts, so
I
nothing
really
will show
don't.
anyway. But, you know, I mean, hair-wise, most of them don't have hair. So that's one, you know...
Most of them, their eyebrows are better than mine, I'm telling you.
It's much more taxing, you know, to be a woman on TV, I think.
You think?
No, I think men are getting as bad as women, I think.
Are they in terms of
I think
appearance?
so,
But
yes,
do you think there are
in terms
other
of
things that there's more criticism, more of a spotlight, or is it easier? Did it make life easier being a woman in the public eye, or do you think it's harder job?
I don't think so. I think it's the same for both when it comes to those things. I mean, you're being criticized in the very same way like any other person. I mean, I don't think it matters whether you're a man
The
or
only
a
thing
woman.
is, like, sometimes, like, women, sometimes they don't like women, you know?
Oh,
like,
really?
Sort of.
You think so?
You don't think so?
This was what my...
Like,
See,
women are
you've been
bitches,
reading
sort
my
of.
script,
No.
because this was one of my next
You
questions.
mean women watching don't like women on TV?
Women
Sometimes,
are...
yes.
I was going to
They're
ask
worst
you,
enemies.
are we...
sometimes.
Because we've had ladies on the show. We had a Women in Media, was the very, very first show that we ever did in season 1. And the ladies on that show said that women actually are crueler and more critical of other women.
Yes, it's true.
And
I
actually,
think.
as women, you know, we should be supporting each
Of
other.
course.
But in what respect? So you're saying that women might be more critical of other women, but is that because of what you're wearing or the way that you act, or
Of course.
or
that's
your
what I
marital
think.
status, for
Yes,
instance?
yes, everything. Okay, yeah.
But I think that's in everyday life as well. I mean, you
Yes,
find
women.
it on the job.
Yeah, I mean,
as well.
women in general. I'm saying in general, like in politics also. For example, if there's a woman who's in politics, I think mostly men would vote for her.
You think so?
I think so.
Wow.
Yes.
You think so?
I think the
Also-
percentage would be higher.
Really? Because
Yes,
of
than
what?
women. Because women are. I don't know why, but it's,
Do you think we're looking for because we're peers with each other, that we're looking for something more critical about each other,
I think
or perhaps
so,
there's an element where I didn't have that opportunity.
yes,
so
I think so.
Although, Valerie's, you're looking as if you're not quite convinced by that. Tell me what
I
you're
think
thinking.
it depends a lot on the person, you know, on the characters of
Yeah,
people.
of
I mean,
course, yeah.
I am not a jealous person. And jealousy has no place in my life. But I get a lot of it, you know, targeted at me. And sometimes I can't understand why. Because I think everybody has something nice, something going on, you know, and we shouldn't be jealous of each other. I should be happy about what you have and what you have achieved. And so should you.
do you think, though, I mean, a lot of the statistics we've been looking at over the last 2 series that we've had are about the fact that there is still a disproportionate amount of women leading the way. This is why we have this show. Women leading the way, women in public eye, role models in academics, science, business, everything. The statistics are low, but the capabilities are very high. When we look at the education statistics, they're very high. Girls succeed, women succeed. But it seems to fall off. And what it alludes to in lots of statistics is that there's a lack of opportunities. So perhaps when women are successful and there are limited opportunities, perhaps other women maybe are looking to say, well, you know, I didn't have that opportunity, there were less opportunities for me, and that there are less opportunities. What do you think?
It could be, but I mean, I think even it's because when you have children too. I mean, I do feel a bit guilty sometimes. Like I wish I could go back again, you know, and have spent more time with my son, you know.
So being in the public eye, has
feel-
that affected your
Yes, it is a bit, because
being a mum?
because when you work I mean, I'm saying like editing and on the other side
Yes,
now.
yes.
It takes long hours.
Yes.
And if you have something and you have a deadline, you have to finish it, you know, sort
Yeah.
of. So
But
it's not like
interestingly-
a 9-to-5 job.
For sure.
You have
But
to-
interestingly enough, even if you're not a mother, that then brings compromise into your life, because there are other things, maybe relationships or maybe potential relationships or potential marriage or whatever, which you might not get to because you're involved so intently in your work.
Yeah, how's that affected you, Valerie, in terms of being in the public eye, your personal life, your relationships?
Yes,
This
indeed.
idea that you're not, you said to before about, you know, being able to walk up and meet somebody and them already having a view about you. Does that affect you personally?
But I mean, you would have got used to it. Like, as I told you, it started when I was 18, so it's part of my life. But when you have a person next to you, a boyfriend or a partner or whatever, it's very hard on them, I think. If they're
okay.
not sharing the same, you know, type of job, it's very hard on them, because people sometimes stop you, and I love that, as you said. I mean, people come to talk to you, but, you know, sometimes people think they own you.
Own you.
In a way. So it could be very difficult for the other person to understand that his woman
familiarity.
or whatever, you know, does not just belong to him. But you know,
okay, I
he has to
see.
share
He
her
has
with
to
so
share.
many others. In
And
a
what
way.
about that? And, you know, often and historically, men have always been seen as the more dominant in a couple. I mean, fortunately, less so now. Do you think that would affect perhaps more a Maltese man than it would another man to feel as though his partner was higher in status or more well-known?
Their egos.
Egos, yes, yeah. I know, I mean, not just necessarily Maltese men, but men
In general, I
today. Yeah, in
think,
general
yeah.
today. Is that harder for a man?
I have to admit,
think
it's
so.
tough on the partner.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And
But
do you're sort of obviously something that you... do you think that's helped your relationship, the fact that you're both in the public eye?
It happened gradually, you know, sort of. And I don't really see this in the public eye, you know. I mean, I don't really take
But the
much
fact that you're
notice of
both
it.
well-known makes it easier that one of you is not overshadowing the other one, perhaps.
But then, as you were saying, you've grown into it together.
Just slowly,
That must be,
gradually, you know,
must
sort
be
of.
fantastic. And I'm sorry, when you said that, I was thinking about that analogy of the frog in the hot water, and that's not what I meant. But the frog in that hot water, if you turn the water up,
Which one was that one?
you put the frog in a pan and you boil the water gradually, and there's something. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's very cruel.
He doesn't realise he's boiling to death. I
But you
see.
don't realise where you've got to. I think what I'm trying to say is you don't realise where you've got to because you got there as a gradual
But the
duration,
thing
and
is,
you've
in
learned it
Malta,
together.
it's not as if we have paparazzi and things like that. I mean, it's...
You don't need paparazzi. You don't, and as Valerie said, you know, you've got people looking at you who know you.
Yeah, but we're not in magazines and things like that, you know, sort of.
But this is really funny because we started off saying that. Mandy, we started off saying that about tabloid, and this is not a country that has tabloid. But you coined the phrase, it's live tabloid, because people do think they know you. And they don't need to buy the magazine. You're walking down the street, hey!
There's my magazine. You wake up in the morning and go,
Il persiano, we call it.
yes.
There we go. And do you think, as Jane was saying, has it created more personal? How do you deal with that personal criticism? We talked about that as well, being in the public eye.
I just don't read it. I don't read anything on Facebook, or I don't like reading. Even what they write about Pepe, I don't read it. Because I want to be happy, you know?
Yes.
When I start reading these things, I start feeling anger and sadness. I don't want to feel that. I want to be
would it
happy.
ever stop you? I mean, we were talking about criticism earlier and dealing with criticism, and that you're genuinely delightful with people and you seem to get that in return. But would it stop you if you got a lot of criticism? Would it be too much?
I mean, I'm not like Mandy. I read it. Because I want to know and I want to be conscious. And if there's something I can fix about it, I take it as constructive criticism. Criticism that tries to destroy a person, I try to ignore.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Does it hurt?
For the
It
very
still
first
hurts, does
moment.
it?
It hurts when there's a tinge of reality in it. Like, I don't know, for example, I would have put on some weight and, you know, somebody passes a comment about that. Maybe that will hurt because I know I could do something about it and I can, you know, kind of fix it. But otherwise,
But do you not want to say if there's an inaccuracy about who you are and what you've done?
And there
to
are so
say-
many.
To say, but I didn't do that and I didn't say that or I misquoted. How do you manage that kind of frustration?
I usually take it out on the closer ones. To me.
Do you?
You know, I just, trash it out with them.
Yes.
But, they judged me like this, they said that, and it's not true. And, and I just let it out, but I'm like that. With me, it's like you get a 5-minute tsunami, but you get it out.
That's
like
me.
5 minutes
Oh,
tsunami.
On Facebook, lots of people are just sitting there, okay, at home, writing horrible things.
But I
they don't
never
even
answer.
think. They don't think what they're writing. It's just
coming
babble.
out, yes.
They're writing just to be horrible, and I don't want to
And
read
Mandy,
that.
you hit the nail on the head. We talked about it not being a tabloid society, and this is not just Malta, this is everywhere. But with social media, everybody is a tabloid journalist. Everybody.
I mean, I don't care
And it's
what
probably there more than we can imagine. So instead of buying a newspaper, there it is. You open Facebook first thing in the morning, poof, poof.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it still hurts. So would you say that to the people that write these things, that it hurts?
Of course, it hurts a lot.
It hurts. But it can only make you stronger at the end of the day,
Well,
if you learn how to deal with
Not
it.
necessarily for everyone, but
No,
that's
not
how it is for
necessarily.
you.
But
You
if
can
you
manage
that.
that.
learn how to kind of, as I said, try to improve if there is any truth in what they're saying, or just deal with the situation, I think it can only make you stronger. It can break you.
Of course.
It very much depends
Yes.
on the emotional state you are in at the moment.
And you're both extremely strong and wonderful women. So, it's lovely to hear you say that.
But it was interesting that how you both seem to have gone into the public eye as a consequence of what you did and really didn't see it coming. But some people will pursue a career where they know it's coming and they thrive on that and they're purposely going out to get that. And you didn't. And that's what's interesting about having that attack on your personality or your character, that you can manage that because you didn't go out seeking fame and fortune. You you went out to do what it was that you were doing, and it was a consequence.
I mean, come on.
Okay, fame.
And I have to say, you've both done an astounding job, and we unfortunately come to the end of this Christmas show. It's so fast, and it's been absolutely amazing to talk to you. And congratulations on both what you've achieved, particularly when you've been really open about the challenges of getting there. And it's been an absolute delight, and particularly with respect, because Mandy's come poorly sick and drinking hot lemon.
No, thank you for that.
Beware of the Christmas sweets now, huh?
No thanks, I'm telling you.
Keep away.
Won't be touching
Listen,
those.
we wish you the
do.
very,
A
very
very Merry
best.
Christmas.
Oh, well, a very Merry Christmas as well. But the very best in everything that you do.
Thank
and it's
you.
been a delight to have you
I
on
like
this
being
show.
with you. You make me happy.
Indeed.
We like that too. What a great way to end the show. So we'll be back hopefully next year. Merry Christmas to you. We're all going to take a break. We'll probably go back to England and see our family
do.
maybe, and then we'll be back in the new year.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you want to find out more about what these ladies are up to or see this show again, go onto our Facebook page, facebook.com/In-Demand TV Malta. Make sure you go and have a look at that as well.
Yes, so it's just for us to say wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you in 2016.
Or on Sunday, actually.
And on Sunday, where we'll be doing In Demand After Hours. You can catch a little bit more of this show. We'll be talking to our Christmas crackers in the public eye. I will see you next year. This has been In Demand. Thank you for watching.